welcome to the special edition of ET Now Startup Central. We are coming to you from Amazon's headquarters in India, right here in Bengaluru. And I'm in conversation with Amazon's country head, Amit Agarwal. Now, Amazon completes 5 years in India next month. Amit, that's quite a milestone. Thanks so much for joining us on ET Now.
Thank you for having me.
You've always liked to say it's day one at Amazon, but it's been 5 years. Take us through the last 5 years and how's your approach going to be different for the coming 5 years?
Yeah, I think we are going to finish 5 years soon in India, and it's an incredible journey. I think just starting from a place where we were selling books to customers in 10 cities with a few sellers on the marketplace, to having more than 300,000 small medium businesses, 170 million products, customers from 99% of India's pin code shopping with us, more than 86% of our customers coming from really small tier towns, to actually getting really heartfelt, warm transformation stories, how Amazon is starting to make a difference in people's lives. It's an incredible journey, and we feel very, very humbled by the response that we have got. Our approach has always been to obsess with customers, to invent on their behalf, and to invest with a very long-term outlook. That approach has worked well for us. Right. Our vision is to transform how India buys and sells, and thereby do our part in transforming people's lives. We'll continue to invest and keep obsessing with customers. And as you said, it's barely day one for us.
Okay, and how many customers do you have currently? You've crossed the 100 million mark, and is it going to be as easy to get to the next 100 million? People keep talking about India 1, India 2, India 3, and how, India 2 is the next big opportunity. But is it going to be as easy to tap as the first 100 million?
So when I look at kind of in a different way, what could happen going forward for us, our approach would be exactly the same. Focus on the things that customers care most about, which is selection, value, and convenience. And if we do our job well, I am confident we would play a significant role in bringing the next 100 million customers to find, discover, and aspire with Amazon.
Right.
I'm very confident that Prime will be the most loved program ever built in India that would really meaningfully improve people's daily lives. And I'm very confident that we would enable India's SMEs to become not only national but global brands.
Right.
So I think we have launched a lot of products and sowed a lot of seeds in the last 5 years that puts us in a very good position to aspire to do that in the coming 5 years.
Right. They say hindsight's always 20/20, but if there was something that you could have done differently that you did not do in the last 5 years, what could it be? I mean, it could be a strategy or, investment in a particular category that you perhaps were not very aggressive about. Have you thought through that, and what would your learnings be?
I think it's very early for us to kind of do that retrospection in some sense. I think, as I said, it's barely day one for us. We ask ourselves that question every day. What is a defect a customer experienced? What could we have done differently? And we find ourselves looking at processes that we have or we don't have, or things that we are doing that we should be doing differently for them so that they can have a better experience. So I think we have a very good, solid, operationally excellent culture that focuses on removing waste and removing defects. We also have a very good culture where we put a lot of thought when we walk through one-way doors.
Right.
And one-way doors are things that we might regret. And so we put a lot of diligence in thinking through that aspect. And most of the things that you do on a daily basis are two-way doors. You can walk through it, and if something doesn't work out, you can walk back.
Right.
That's how we run kind of our decisions in a large way.
Right. But would fashion count as perhaps a category where you could have invested more or done something more? Because that is the second biggest category after electronics, also a very high margin business. Perhaps the only gap in your portfolio now.
Well, actually, we're very excited about where Amazon Fashion is today. So just to catch you up, that category has the largest selection in India. And as I said, we care about selection, value, convenience as the inputs to get to the desired output of earning customer trust. So it's very early in Amazon Fashion life cycle. It already has a largest selection in India. As a standalone destination, not including subsidiaries, Amazon Fashion is already the largest business in India. And it's the...
You're saying it's the largest?
Yes.
Okay. Based on?
Based on the anecdotal data that we have and other information that we have.
Would this be in terms of visits or sales or?
Pretty much. I think it's all those parameters that you're talking about as a standalone destination. And it is one of the fastest growing categories for us. We are seeing a large percentage of our new customers coming from it. So I would say that our approach of adding selection, providing great value and convenience is working. And we are very confident that if we keep at it, there is no reason why Amazon Fashion should not be the starting point for customers in India to look for their clothing and fashion needs.
Right. Amit, what's also been remarkable is, in 5 years, you've become a dominant player with over 30% market share. And all of this has come organically in terms of the logistics, in terms of the FC investment that you've made. But any regrets on not making acquisitions to build up your business? Because, there's been talk about Amazon interested in Big Basket and then Flipkart. Any regrets at all at letting those slip away?
We are very happy with our organic strategy, how that has played out. So our approach is very centered on, as I said, obsessing with customers, inventing on their behalf and thinking long term.
Right.
And when we do find missionary entrepreneurs out there who have a similar motivation and where we believe together we can improve customer experience, we do partner. So we have made investments. For example, we have made a small investment in Shopper Stop, which allows us to serve our Amazon Fashion customers better. We have made investments in payment companies like Quicksilver. We have actually recently announced an investment in ACO, which is an insurance company.
And also Capital Float, I think.
And these will allow us to serve the next 100 million customers when it comes to lending, or it will allow serving our existing customers for their insurance needs in a better way. So where we do find synergies, we do invest. But overall, our organic strategy is working great.
Right. Amit, this is your first interview after the biggest e-commerce deal in the world, Flipkart and Walmart. So I can't help but ask you about what you make of this deal. I remember reading an interview a few weeks back where you said, this is good for India or good for the e-commerce market. What are your thoughts now that, this deal is sealed and done?
Our focus is not going to change because our strategy is very centered on things that don't change. Many companies run their strategies based on how things around them change. I think at Amazon, we are very fortunate that we can take very long-term bets on things that don't change. And the things that we're not going to change is customers are still going to want selection at great prices and great convenience, even after this ecosystem change that you talk about. So the good thing is we continue to be focused. As far as India goes, any investment in India is good because it allows the free flow of capital and it allows the Indian consumer to benefit.
Right. So it doesn't bother you that there's going to be one more big player with?
Well, our focus is so much on the customer that our obsession in making sure that they have a better experience on Amazon than anywhere else doesn't change.
Right.
And it's very early for e-commerce in India. It's very early for Amazon in e-commerce in India. It's barely day one. There's so much opportunity ahead of us, and we're very excited about the position that we find ourselves in.
So it doesn't affect you in any way as of now?
We continue to be focused and relentless as we have been over the last 5 years.
Right. There was a recent report by Citi which said the e-commerce market in India is going to grow to some $200 billion in the next decade from, I think, 50 to 60 billion now. The thing is, a lot of critics say that this is essentially going to be Amazon versus Walmart versus Alibaba on Indian soil, 3 foreign giants fighting for a pie of Indian e-commerce. What do you make of that assessment? Should you take a more pragmatic view that, ultimately all this is benefiting the customer and job creation? What do you make of this criticism?
Well,
that India has perhaps ceded its market too easily?
Well, I really can't comment on other approaches or players out there. But I think when I look at Amazon, I'm an Indian. The company is very centered on focusing on the Indian customer. We are seeing that our approach to obsess with customers, to invest in capabilities that allows customers anywhere in India to shop from anywhere else, and for Indian SMEs to sell anywhere, actually very closely aligns with the New India priorities. If you just think about it, the conversations that we have about where India needs to go to be more digital, to be less cash, to see Make in India go global, interestingly completely aligns with what we are doing.
Right.
And I'm very confident that if we execute well, it would not only allow us to earn customer trust, to be the starting point to find, discount, buy anything online, but we would actually play a very meaningful role in furthering the objectives of New India and the Indian economy. And we are already seeing that. Amazon India has been responsible in its 5-year history to create hundreds of thousands of jobs already. A large portion of our investment, almost 40% plus, has gone into infrastructure to bring skilling, to bring technology-led innovations, hard infrastructure, warehousing and logistics. And all of this is the foundation of a very healthy India. Our innovations, like for example, we launched cash load at doorsteps. It allows customers, when they order a product, to also load up cash in their Amazon wallet, so that next time they could use that digital payment to make a transaction. This is a great way to digitize customers. When I look at our investments in global selling, we have more than 30,000 sellers selling tens of millions of items to hundreds of millions of customers across 10 countries.
3 dominant players with deep pockets. You have Amazon, now you have Flipkart backed by Walmart, and then you have Paytm Mall, which has Alibaba and SoftBank. So is this going to be a rerun of the 2014-15 phase that we saw, where there was deep discounting, a lot of spend happening? People thought that sort of irrational exuberance, so to speak, subsided a bit in the last year. But do you see that, seeing a resurgence now, considering you have 3 big players with deep pockets? How do you see this panning out?
We don't really pay much attention. I know people might think that it is strange, but I think it is a very simple business strategy to focus on things that will not change. So whether it's 2014 or 2018 or 2020,
so the focus will be on growth and not profitability.
That at this early stage is true. For Amazon, our vision is to transform how India buys and sells, and we have taken a very long-term outlook on India.
How long is long-term? You've completed 5 years now.
I think we have been serving US customers for 20 plus years, so why would we not serve Indian customers for 10 decades to come? Right. And in case of India, we have an even larger opportunity to participate in this transformation that India is seeing about just digitizing the whole country. And that would take investment, that would take patience, that would take relentless execution. And we believe that if we keep our minds focused on the things that matter for customers most, whether it's offering them more selection at great value and convenience, at the end of the day, in a transparent world, customers will choose us. So we will continue investing with that in mind.
The first phase, the first 5 years, it was fought on categories such as electronics and fashion. Will the next battleground be grocery? Is that going to be a big bet?
We really don't try to view these. I think at the end of the day, our responsibility is to ensure that customers can find, discount, buy anything online.
Right.
Our commitment to Prime members is that we will improve their daily lives. And it is not hard to see that there is so much work to do in providing access to selection. We have 170 million products, but only 170 million products. I'm sure there is more selection out there. There are more needs of customers on a daily basis that they would want us to do a better job at serving. So, I think for us, it has just been a matter of when we are ready, and we don't look at it as a point in time where we have to, and that's how we see. When it comes to grocery, it is a very important aspect of people's daily lives.
That's right.
And we do expect to make a difference in that. We actually have several formats that already serve customers today. So for example, we have Prime Now, which is actually a 2-hour delivery service that allows customers to get access to products that they would need at short notice. And it ranges everything from your chargers to your cookers to your pans to other things that you might do, your pet food, including grocery. So you do find all grocery plus all these other things. So that's receiving great traction in the 4 cities that we are in. Then we also have Amazon Pantry, which
For
is
your monthly.
that anything that you wish to stock for the week or the month,
Right.
we guarantee that you'll get the cheapest basket if you shop on Amazon, and that's doing great. We are in 30 plus cities. We have subscribe and save for customers who know that they're going to buy something every month. They could simply subscribe to it and get it delivered without ever having to order again.
See, Amazon Fresh being added as another option.
Well,
for-
customers today on Prime Now can do get access to fresh grocery from their favorite local grocery stores and other stores. And we will continue innovating. We are continue looking at more ways to serve customers. So over long term, absolutely, customers should think of us to deliver all their needs in the day, whether it's fresh, non-fresh, and other items.
Right. And a lot of talk about, how offline, online, the omni-channel strategy is going to be a big thing. There's been speculation about Future Group. Can we expect something on those lines, considering they're big in fashion and grocery?
Again, I don't speculate and comment on rumors. However, we don't really look at online, offline. I think that's a very not a customer backwards thinking. What we think about is where do customers expect us to serve them, and we will continue to look for ways to innovate. For example, we have launched what we call as Project Udan. It has been active for a while,
Right.
where customers, as in your terminology, might be offline because they wish to get in-person assistance to shop, but they are shopping online on a TV, essentially, or a big monitor, Amazon selection. So I don't even know what format is, but it works right for that customer who's looking for assistance to help him or her shop Amazon's massive selection as they are new to online shopping. And we have seen that allow us to introduce a lot of new customers to online shopping or to shopping in general. So we will continue to look for ways to serve customers no matter where they are. I would say at this point in time, we are very excited with what we are doing.
You recently, also got a nod from the government to invest 500 million in food retail. But there's a rider there where, you need separate equipment and storage and warehousing. Is that a detriment to the detriment of people who want to get into food retail in India? Do you think there needs to be more, that needs to be simplified, that particular clause?
Well, I think we are very excited and fortunate that the government believes in our vision of serving customers and making them healthy. And I think we will continue to innovate and try out different ways how we can serve customers and get them access to fresh, healthy food from right from the source. It's very, very early for us. We are just getting started. So I would just stay tuned.
Right. In the first 5 years, Jeff Bezos made a public commitment for $5 billion for India. Is there a target for the next 5 years? Will we see that number go up?
I think you should see the commitment that Jeff made as a signal to how excited he is on the momentum that we are seeing and how excited he is about the opportunity ahead of us. Our vision in India is a very long-term vision. We are here to serve hundreds of millions of customers and make a difference to people's daily lives. When you're trying to go after such a bold long-term vision, you will invest to build the basic building blocks that would allow you to serve a great experience on. So we kind of stay focused on our vision to serve customers, and to that end, whatever investment is needed, we would continue to make.
Right. He also mentioned in his shareholder letter, I mean, he singled out Prime, where he said India's perhaps seen the fastest uptake in any country that's launched Prime in its first year. Do you see that pace of subscription continue, Amit, even in the second year or perhaps third year? And, how much of it is being driven by the fact that you've invested a lot in original content and Prime Video?
So we are very, very excited by what we're seeing in Prime. We launched Prime a little over a year ago.
Right.
It's for the sake of our viewers who don't know about it yet. It's a service that is $9.99 a year and provides you access to free one-day delivery on. Now we have over 40 million items that are eligible. It provides you free delivery and everything else. It gives you access to original Amazon content and the Bollywood and other regional best releases. Prime Music is free. You get exclusive deals. You get early access to image products. So it's in my opinion, Prime is probably the best shopping deal out there in India today. Customers love it. We see Prime customers sign up for Prime and rave about it. We have seen that Prime has been the fastest growing service in its debut year in India, as you said, and we don't see that slowing down. I'm very optimistic that as we keep improving Prime, adding more and more benefits, that makes people's lives meaningfully better every day and more convenient and more fun, Prime should continue to grow, and there is no reason why India should not be one of the very large Prime member base in the world.
Right. This is something you mentioned early on in the interview and something that I wanted to ask you as well. In terms of, the investments that you've been making in startups in India, I mean, Quicksilver was an early investment and, recently we've had a couple of fintech names, Capital Float and Acco. So is there a common thread that ties all these investments? Is there a common theme? Because it's pretty sector agnostic and, you also mentioned Shoppers Stop. What's the larger strategy here?
I think the common theme is customer obsession. I think all of these companies in some ways probably share our missionary attitude of serving customers. We believed that together with them, both of us could serve customers better together. And I think that's what ties us. I think if each one of them has their role. Shoppers Stop is a great selection edition for our Amazon fashion customers that gives them access to the great selection that Shoppers Stop has and allows us to together figure out how we could serve our customers better. And Acco on the other side is a very nimble, data-led, innovative company that is thinking about insurance in a whole different way. And as you try to make people's daily lives better, taking that mental overhead of things that hold them back is a great opportunity that we could serve together. So I think each of these companies has their role to play. I don't think so looking for a common thread across this. I would say customer is the only common thread.
Right. Amit, recent estimates peg Amazon's market share at about 30-31% in e-commerce, and the Flipkart group, which includes Myntra and Jabong, somewhere about 39 to 40%. Do you think you will be able to bridge this gap in the next 5 years, or even surpass, or do you concur with these numbers in the first place?
Well, I think there are, it doesn't matter. I think what we know for sure is on the things that matter to customers that are measurable using math, we are ahead on all factors. And more importantly, what I know is if we keep heads down focused on making sure that every day we offer a better customer experience than we did yesterday, then over long term, in a completely transparent world, customers will choose us. And that's ultimately what matters to us. It's very early. It's barely even day one for us. And I'm very excited. I mean, even if your estimates were true, to have
they're not my estimates.
to be there in 5 years is very, very exciting.
Okay. Just the final couple of questions. You've led Amazon India for the first 5 years. There's constant speculation about whether you're going to lead it for the next 5 years. Will you move to a global role considering you're already part of the S team? Can we expect Amit Agarwal to also meet us on the 10th anniversary of Amazon India?
I think the way I look at it is, how many times in your life do you get a chance to work on something that is big in its impact and scale, that is challenging because there are some really hard problems to solve, and it could potentially play a very important role in the country's future. It's kind of like a dream job if you think about it. Many people would say that the intersection of these three things, and you're getting paid for it. I consider myself extremely fortunate to have the role that I have here. And for me to, I can't even think of a better job in my life at this point in time.
Right. Amit, I'm going to take the liberty of asking you 5 rapid fire
Okay,
questions
sure.
to end this interview.
Yeah.
The first thing that you ordered online,
I would say it's still a book.
which one was it?
I don't remember, but I'm sure it might be one textbook that I might have ordered a long time back.
Right. The best thing that you learned from Jeff Bezos?
Customer obsession, invention, and long-term thinking.
Right. One startup entrepreneur who inspires you?
All of them inspire me
You
for
can give me a
something.
name.
All of them have their own perspective that each one has something inspiring to teach me.
Will Amit Agarwal ever do a startup?
I'm already doing a startup.
And finally, I read this, I saw this poster on your campus on 5 things that people should be doing for your 5-year party. Which of it are you going to do?
I think I have been kept in the dark so far, so I'll probably figure it out when I get on the stage.
Okay, Amit, on that note, thank you so much for talking to
Thank
me,
you for
Tina.
having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.